Dr. Megan Bird, and we are going to chat EMFs, but really specifically, we're going to talk about dirty electricity and how in your own home, how you can check if you have dirty electricity and then how to mitigate it. One thing that I try to do, I feel like there's so much in the health world, there's so much fear, even in the natural health world. And I feel like the natural health world should help to decrease our fears. We should give solutions to problems, to man-made diseases, from chronic inflammatory conditions that come from the world that we live in, from issues that have arisen from technology like EMFs. But a lot of times there's just fear. Fear this thing, fear EMFs. And guess what? They're all around us. We can go live on a, super rural area away from off the grid and, potentially get away from them until we start having things circulating around us and like satellites, because that's what's going to happen. We're going to have wireless in satellites. So there's going to be a point where we can't get away from them. But still, what do we do? And that's what I want to do, is help give you a solution. So we're not going to talk about Wi-Fi type EMFs, electromagnetic frequency, often known as electromagnetic radiation. We're going to talk in your own home, the wires in your own home that goes to your plugins. Are they safe? Are they not as safe? How much dirty electricity is your house giving off? So when I say dirty electricity, think of the difference between a clean food and a dirty food. So you want it to be clean and healthy, and dirty is going to be something that's going to be a little bit more unhealthy for us. So do you have scatter radiation that is coming out from your outlets? And if you do, let's just say you have a really high reading behind your bed and you turn your Wi-Fi off at night and you don't have your phone by you and you don't have Bluetooth wearables or anything like that on your body, but yet you're sleeping right next to a very dirty source of EMFs, which is your own outlet. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about testing it, mitigating, helping it with Stetzerizers. So, okay, what is dirty electricity? So this Stetzerizer meter detects dirty electricity anywhere that there is an outlet. There you go. Another thing I want to mention is you could do all of the Wi-Fi type EMF stuff and you could still have an issue with your plugins. So we did this in our old house, and we've done it mostly, partially, I'll say, halfway in the new house. And so we've been here for almost a year, and I thought it's just time to get more Stetzerizer meter or plugs, filters, and I want to take you along for the ride so that you can see it and see if this is an issue for your house. So in our old house, we really didn't have too big of an issue. The biggest issue though was above our daughter's room. And so it was quite fairly high readings. I thought, oh my gosh, my poor sweet little baby is sleeping in all these EMFs. But then the rest of our house was pretty good. So fast forward, we moved to our new house. Our new house is twice the square footage as our old house, and it has tons of outlets. The people who built this house were outlet crazy. They've got all sorts, they're everywhere. So the more outlets that you have, the more sources that you can have dirty electricity. But the really cool thing about our house, as much as they were plug-in crazy, they were also Ethernet port crazy. So every single room has at least one Ethernet port in it, which is so cool. So we can actually turn our Wi-Fi off almost all the time, and we can still utilize everything that we need because we can have Ethernet plugs everywhere. So the Stetzerizer meter, this meter detects dirty electricity, and it's going to give a reading. So we can then test to determine which outlets need the Stetzerizer filters. So the filters, I have a box of 20. We already have 20 plugged in. So the average house, your house is gonna need at least 20 unless it's a really small, like a smaller apartment. Our house is gonna need at least 40. Some people's houses need 60 or more. The age of your house doesn't matter. Some new houses have really high dirty electricity, and some old houses can be really awesome, and vice versa. So our townhouse was a fairly new house. It was 10 years old, a little over when we sold it. And that was pretty good. This house is newer and it's not so good. So this is the Stetzerizer filter. So we're not getting, there we go. It's hard to get this thing to be able to see that. Oh, there we go. So we've got the Stetzerizer filter right there. Sorry, we're not focusing. There it is. Okay. That's what the filter looks like. So yes, this kind of big blocky thing is going to be on all of your outlets, and that's okay. It just is. You know, might not look as pretty, but health over prettiness there. Okay, so the ideal measurements for the Stetzerizer is going to be 30 or under. So the average home needs 20 filters, some need higher. So you could also, let's say your body's really EMF sensitive, you can travel with these. You could go to somebody else's house, like if it was the bedroom you were sleeping in, for example. I wouldn't put them all in everybody else's house, but the bedroom, if you go to a hotel, bring this and a couple Stetzer filters. So this is what we want to do. We want all of the electronics on during this, because if you have a TV plugged in or whatever, we want to make sure that you're neutralizing with the things plugged in, a lamp, all of that. So what you're going to do is you are going to plug it in and you're going to get a reading, and we want that reading 30 or below. This meter goes up to 1500. So that is a lot higher. And I've never had anything over 1,000. In our old house, we never had anything over 3,000. 300. In this house, I have gotten 700 and 800. So this is much worse, and I thought we just really need to make sure we're neutralizing. So we have neutralized bedrooms and things that we're in, but we're gonna go through the whole house. And I realized that I didn't even test our bonus room, the room above the garage. So we're gonna head up there and get some high numbers and see how it all comes together. So if you're like, okay, I need many Stetzerizers, but I'm blocking a plug-in, you can get the three-prong kind of adapter for your plug-in, so that you can still, if let's say you have one outlet in your bathroom and you need 2 Stetzerizers, well, you still need to plug in your hairdryer and all that kind of stuff. You can make it work that way. So we're gonna go through my house and we're gonna see the numbers and we're gonna see the filters. So as the filters come together, like you start plugging it on the main level. So for example, in my office, I had a reading of 400. If I take the Stetzer filter off of that, and I put the number in, it's gonna be much less, because they start to work together. I've got some all throughout the main level. And so if you start getting numbers in the thousands, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna need like 200 of these filters to filter every single thing. That's not true. They start to work together and bring the number down. So, wanna come along with me? We're gonna go find out how we can neutralize my home and make sure once and for all, we've taken care of all the dirty electricity. Okay, I'm gonna show you here in my office. So here is one of my plugins with the Stetzerizer. So this was somewhere in the 400s before. And if I plug it in and we take a peek at the number, we're at 205, 196. So this isn't crazy, but it was double that. So it's still a big number. Here's how you can test too. So we're gonna take the filter, we're gonna plug it in below. There we go. Now let's peek. We're at 34. So these make a huge difference. We went from 200 to 34 by putting in one filter. And so my office, I'll go around to the other outlets. My office has 5 outlets in it. Like I said, there's a lot of outlets here, folks. It's just, we paid for a lot of extra outlets, which is great, except for the filter thing that we're gonna need so many. So then, okay, we're gonna go under here. This is the table they take a lot of photos on. We have a whole home, it's called Total Shield EMF blocker. It's quite old. It's like 7 years old, and I'm sure there's much better ones. I don't even know how much it works, to be honest with you. We lived by power lines in our other house, and we just bought that to really help to mitigate it. And I said, I don't know if it works super well or not, but okay, we've got it. So that's not a glowing recommendation at all. A chiropractor that I knew really well was like, this one's great. So we bought it at the time when there wasn't as many EMF shielding devices. So that's supposed to work on 20,000 square feet, which means 20,000 is much larger than our house. So we're like, we're helping the neighbors out. Okay, we've got 88, 90 here. If I unplug the EMF total shield, we've got the same thing. So I know that when I unplug it, or when I plug it back in with the Stetzerizer filter on it, we're gonna be good. Brings it down to 32, 33. So I'm gonna keep going throughout the house. If you get buzzing from your filters, and I'm gonna double check on the instructions. If you get buzzing on your filters, that filter's maxed out and you need another filter. So we used to get some buzzing in our master bathroom one, and we actually had to have 3 in our old master bathroom, which the numbers weren't super high, just it was however it was really maxed on those filters. So you want to make sure that, yes, the filter's maxed out and you want to put another filter in. You also can put filters on surge protectors because that's where lots of things are plugged in. So you want to check out surge protectors and just kind of keep going throughout your house. And we're gonna head up to the bonus room and I'm gonna show you those. Okay, I'm not in the bonus room yet. I just had to show you, I finished my office here and this is so surprising. So now I'm under my desk where I've got some things plugged in and I'm at 261. So I really have to work on filtering all of this and then figuring out the EM, but I'm gonna have to, I think, put this on here. So let's see if this works. And we're gonna put the meter, let's see there. Okay, so I put the meter right on the extension cord and we're gonna see if we see, up, friend, 30. So now I thought, okay, I really got to check my office because it's been high. And so I sit on this chair a lot. And even if I'm not working, I'll come into my office, I'll use my computer, I'll order groceries, all that stuff. And so my office has been really, really high. And I just needed to show you that other one before. Now, I also have one more plug in here. I should just put the filter. I bet it won't fit. They installed this desk in and it takes up half of that. So I guess we'll keep it where it is. And then I have one more here where they put an outlet in the desk. This is my Sauna Space Photon, my red light. Let's check this. Okay, so that's at 69, 73. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna put a Stetzerizer there because I will have 3 in my office already and I know that we're gonna start to work together. So as I go through the house, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave that one. It's not super high, and then I will recheck all these outlets and see how it's working, you know, how they're working together so that I'm not having 4 of my new 20 in the office. Now let's hope that my house does well with only 40 of them, not 60. But Dr. Libby Darnell, she's the chiropractor that I get these from, her body's very EMF sensitive, and their house needed 60, and she noticed a really big, huge difference. And their house was newer, and why it needed 60, who knows? But you can purchase these Stetzerizers, I want to make sure you know, from Dr. Libby directly right on her website, which is revivedliving.com. And so you can buy a whole box of Stetzerizers plus the meter, just the box, just the meter. So we didn't need another meter. They're about $100. And the box of these are about 600. So it's an investment, but it's a really good investment. And now I feel so much better knowing that I'm gonna be working in my office and not being surrounded by some very, very high EMFs. Even when I'm sitting on my computer, working with my Ethernet plugged in, now it's gonna be a lot safer. Okay, come along with me. Let's keep going. Okay. This is my mantle up here in my living room. And so I wanted to show you, so I've had a Stetzerizer here because it was really high before, I guess. I mean, that's why it's there. And so I'm checking right now, and with or without the Stetzerizer, I'm getting a 30 reading. So it's just kind of like, in a way, kind of fun, just putting together a puzzle. And then the other outlet, I'm getting 33. So I'm gonna take this filter out, because if I don't need it here, I don't need it here. And I'm gonna pop it in my box because I am sure I'm gonna need it in another area of the house. So I don't know if I somehow neutralized that one. Let's go to the other side here. Okay. 28, 31. So I'm gonna call like the low 30s good. Even though you want it under 30, I'm gonna call 33 just fine, because why not? Let's come here to the corner. We're just checking all the outlets. Oh, and here we go. 53. So that is with the outlet plugged in. There's a way, I really like the meter. My goodness, I really love the meter. Dr. Liddy said there's ways that you can kind of test and tell without. She said that you could just, you know, put some on your big electronics. So put some where, by your TV, all that kind of stuff. But I really like to know. Okay, so this is weird. It's keeping it at the same number. Oh, I know why. Because the outlet isn't on. It's one that's on a switch. I was like, this doesn't make sense. There's usually a lamp plugged in there. So now I've turned it on. Now let's watch the numbers drop, friends. Still not really touching it. That's weird. Let's try to flip them just to see. Well, now it's saying it's 40. Okay, we're bringing it up. It's just a puzzle piece. So I want you to kind of see me troubleshoot a little bit, going back and forth throughout this. Okay, we're good. We're at 33 if I just flipped them. Because it's not a science here. We're kind of just going through this art of continuing to check them, grabbing Stetzerizers, filtering here, filtering there. Let's grab another couple here and to the kitchen. I was just gonna show you one room, but why not just take you along for the ride of way more? Okay, oh my gosh, there's so many outlets. I already have some in my kitchen. I wanted to make sure, like I said, that the rooms that we used so often were really, we're doing really well. Okay, so this one's good. We're at 31. And you don't have to check the, like on the outlet above and below, they should be the same. It's one source of dirty electricity, so the wire's coming into that particular outlet. And so that one's 32. We have a lot of child, like, oops, I almost dropped my meter. Child protection, you know, things on our, so I'm only checking one, so I don't have to take them both off. So you don't need to check every single above and below. Here we go. 25, we're at 30. We're good there. And like I said, I felt like my kitchen was pretty good to go. And we did have to move one filter. Let me show you. So in our kitchen, on our island, we have an outlet right there. And then the fridge is right behind me, and you would bump it and bump it and bump it. It was actually, it'd fall off like all the time, many times a week. And it started to get a little dented. And so I went around with this filter and figured out a way to not have to put it there. And then this is one of our most used outlets because we put the Instant Pot there and the blender there. And so I was like, is there a way that I can get this one neutralized without putting a Stetzerizer on it? And the answer is yes. We're at 34. So I'm really happy with that. And we can just keep moving on. Okay, if I find another really hot spot of a room, I'll let you know. Okay, so I want you all to see this one here. This is my air purifier. You can hear it. We have a Healthway. I like it. We have 2 of these. Okay, back up. We have 4 air purifiers in our house. We have 2 of these, and we have 2 iAdapt airs. So you do not need 4 in your house. We've just had some major issues with health and bacteria levels, and so that was our way to help remediate and make sure that we got all the VOCs and stuff down. I like this, but honestly, I'd purchase the iAdapt air. Not why I came on, but I knew you guys would ask. So it's just loud and bulky and quite spendy. I got practitioner pricing, but retail price is more than you need to spend. Okay, with it on, 56. So I went to open up my outlet, so I turned it off, and guess what? This is why you want electronics on. It goes, oh, now it wants to hang at 50. Did it to me twice before I turned on the camera. It lowered the number into the 30s. And so I was like, oh, well, you wanna make sure your electronics are on when you test. So I am actually gonna turn it off, unplug this, just to see we get the number with the filter in. And these filters fit both facing up and facing down. So it's really easy to find some space. Now we're back at 35. So I'm gonna unplug the Stetzerizer, put the filter in this way. These are those hard to push in plugins that are kind of like, you know, little child safe. Plug this back in. And now if I was really worried about this one, or if it was super high, I could always grab a 3-prong outlet and I could retest while this is plugged in. But it was only 50. And so I'm just not gonna be that particular or stress out about it that way. Okay, keep going. This is our dining room. We made it into our playroom. So I'm gonna keep going through the playroom, homeschool room, and then other than the bathroom and the entryway, I'm good to go on the main level. Well, hello.
Hello.
I have a helper right now. Our mudroom, 735, 750. Let's plug that in. Plug it in, girlfriend. Nope, keep that plugged in. Yep, plug it in there. You got it. Let's see what we go down to.
Yeah.
That was a huge jump. I thought we'd need 2. We're at 35. That's incredible that one Stetzerizer does that, and now we know we needed one in the mudroom. So I'm gonna show you what I do with the outlets a lot of times. Just because to me this looks kind of silly and we rarely use this. I don't know the last time we've used that. We could put a child safety lock, you're right. But a lot of times what I do is I'll just put it up top. So it just covers the whole thing and just like looks a little bit better. Not on our busy outlets, of course, but if we ever need that, you can just unplug the Stetzerizer, plug in the vacuum, or whatever thing that you may need at the time. That just looks better. So there's my tip. Okay, we're almost done with the main level. Hey, I'm upstairs. So my upstairs, I'm finding that I have a lot of readings right around 60, and the Stetzerizers aren't taking them down individually. So I think I have to like continue. So this went from 80 to 67. That's not very great. I think I need to really work on this level, having them work together before I can see numbers jump down. So I'm just kind of going room to room, finding the highest ones, plugging those in, and then we'll kind of see. So like I said, this is really, there's really an art to this, and that's what I want to show you. So I'm not going to bring you around to every single one. If I find some like bigger numbers, I'll totally let you know. I've got all these child safety locks in my hand, or child safety protection. So yeah, I'll just keep showing you. I'm in the laundry room right now, and just going room to room and seeing which numbers are high so we can work on moving together. Okay, let's check this laundry room. 120. You guys, I should have done this a long time ago. Do you know, sometimes, this is how I feel. Sometimes when there's just seasons where there's so much spending of money, and you guys know my story, my body really crashed hard when we were in this house. And so we've just spent a lot. We spent a lot trying to figure it out on my health, just on certain things around the house, just because you moved and you need to buy certain things and make it yours. And this was just honestly at the bottom of the list. Like, we already have 20 in here. We should be good. But guess what? I mean, we're good in the sense that it helped, but there's some really high readings here. And I kind of wish you would have done this beforehand, but we only know what we know. And we only can do our best. Once again, we don't need to fear, we don't need to, so we're still 73 at this bottom one here, but I'm not gonna put 2 in the laundry room yet. I have another sweet little girl. Yeah, and we just do our best one step at a time. This isn't gonna be the worst thing ever. If you're like, I've lived here forever in my house, but it's just good to do. So I'll let you know if there's any other hot spots in my house. I'm gonna keep going, and honestly, I'm gonna run out of Stetzerizers. These 20 are not sufficient because I haven't even gotten downstairs yet. So I'm gonna keep going and hopefully I can at least neutralize this floor with the remaining Stetzerizers I have. Okay, back at home base. I'm tired and I'm done, but only for the day because I ran out of Stetzerizers. That is right, my house needs more than 40 Stetzerizers. I guess our numbers are way higher than I thought. So it's a really good thing to be doing this. I'm gonna go on my computer. I'm gonna order more Stetzerizers. I'm gonna end this video here. You don't need to follow me around all of my outlets. We don't need to go downstairs, but I did not finish upstairs. And I still have about 4 up there that like really need them, and I haven't gone downstairs yet. So I'm gonna order another pack of 20, get my house taken care of, and do the investment because I know that we need it here. And overall our bedrooms were good. I knew that they were pretty good. Here's the funny thing between the rooms, and I don't know how exactly dirty electricity becomes a big deal, but our bedroom is the master, so it's the biggest of the bedrooms, and we have the lowest numbers with 1 Stetzerizer. I think I probably need 2, where my one daughter's room is one of our smaller rooms, and that one needs 3 and maybe 4. I don't know how it works. And the higher numbers, like our bonus room is the highest in the house, but that's because the electrical like circuit box is in the garage right below it. So that's gonna be higher numbers. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I said, my office was really bad, and that's as far away from the garage as you can get. I don't know what determines it, but there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe to my channel if you like this, and I always try to put out as many videos as I can on no special cadence, just as things come up and I want to show you them. So that is it for dirty electricity. I'm sorry we couldn't end with a big huge thumbs up that I took care of it all, but I will. Trust me on that. I'm gonna get my other Stetzerizers ordered, so have a great day.